please.
Yeah.
Take your turn to talk about Schwesinger.
Yeah, dude, I love his instincts. He is the smartest linebacker out of the guys I've watched. One of the smartest players I have watched in the class. I read somewhere that he idolizes Matt Milano, and that makes a ton of sense in terms of the way he sees the field, both as a run defender and in coverage. His instincts are incredible. He does a really good job. You know, we were talking about his lower body, a little bit slender, and him lacking a little bit of power, which is definitely a knock on him. But he does a really good job of kind of getting around that by just avoiding blocks and finding ways to contort himself away from contact before getting to the running back. He comes downhill, he hits hard. He can play man coverage because of the hips. Like I said, he can flip his hips like a damn corner. He's so good. He's one of the few linebackers to come out in recent years, in my opinion, that has like legitimate elite potential as both a run defender and as a coverage player, and he can rush the passer a little bit. My comp for him is a little lofty, but I see a lot of Levante David in his game.
Okay.
Another player that, like, I love Levante. He's been one of my favorite players in the league for a long time. He never gets enough credit, dude. He's somebody that has gone overlooked for so long, and I see so much of that in Schwesinger, to the point where, like, Tampa's sitting at 20. If they're like, listen, we know Levante's on his way out, year or two, let's get his protege in the building, I would not be mad at that, like, at all. Although I am selfishly hoping he falls into the second round and becomes a
I
Chicago
think he's
Bear.
fallen farther than that. I don't know.
I'm selfishly hoping he's a Bear, man. I would love
fair.
him in Chicago, especially because, like, everyone's kind of convinced we're just getting rid of Tremaine Edmonds, which I get it. He's been so inconsistent. But, like, if they're going to do that and they just want to go, okay, we have TJ Edwards as, like, our reliable number one, like, just does everything and he does it consistently guy. We want a freaky athlete next to him. Schwesinger would be so perfect. I love Carson Schwesinger. He's, I know, like I said, I know he's skinny and I know he isn't like the mold of an old school linebacker, but he plays like an old school linebacker, and it makes me quite happy.
Cheap little plug here, but that clip is from my podcast that I run with two other people called the Run the North podcast. There's a link in the description. And more specifically, the episode back in April where we were talking about our top 5 corners, linebackers, and safeties in the 2025 NFL Draft. And if it's not apparent from what I was saying in that video, I was a pretty big Carson Schwesinger fan pre-draft. And since the draft, my fandom for this player has only grown, especially after watching him tear it up against the Green Bay Packers. If it's not apparent from that clip or anything that you've seen of me, if you've been to the channel before, if it's your first time, hi, hello, welcome. But regardless, I'm a Bears fan, and watching him kick ass against Green Bay really ignited something in me. I just had to make a video talking about Schwesinger. So without further ado, let's go into the tape and watch him absolutely tear it up against the Green Bay Packers. All right, first play we're going to take a look at here. We are in the first quarter, tail end of the first quarter, about 90 seconds left. And before we jump into it, I do want to give like a little disclaimer. With this video, I'm doing a bit of an experiment where over the last, 15 film breakdowns or so that I've done, they have been demonetized. And the only difference between the videos I was making this time last year and the videos I have made since then is people in my comments started requesting that I let the play out before breaking it down. So in my head, that's the only thing that's changed. We're going to see if that is what is triggering the sensors and whatnot. If it doesn't, if it's just like the NFL updated their terms or something and I'm not aware of that, or if it completely ruins the viewing experience for you all, then I will go back to the normal way of doing this. But for this video, in the name of science, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment here. So starting out, we've got Schwesinger lined up, kind of hovering over the A-gap about 2 yards back. And he's going to do a great job here. You see immediately the play action is going to draw Schwesinger into a prime position for the center. The center's goal is to sell that he's cutting up field and then cut back and wall off Schwesinger so the running back here, Josh Jacobs, can come in behind him. Instead, what's going to happen is Schwesinger is going to pay no mind to Elgton Jenkins. This is one of the best centers in the league. Schwesinger says, I don't care about you. I care about this football. The only thing he watches this entire play is Jordan Love, the handoff, and then Josh Jacobs. Where the football is, that's where Schwesinger cares. So you see the whole time, eyes on the ball, disengages, first guy to wrap up, gets him at the waist. Beautiful stuff. Taking a look real quick at the way he engages with the center, you see he does a great job. Hands in the chest, exactly where they want to be. And even when he's engaged with the center, eyes are on the ball carrier. He's putting himself in a great position here where he can use the momentum to push off and then shoot into the backfield. Instead, what ends up happening is Jenkins tries to wall him off, and Schwesinger says, all right, bye, bud. And he gets Jacobs right at the waist and brings him down there for what ends up being a 2-yard pickup. Moving here to the second play, this is going to be a prime example of Schwesinger's athleticism and also just general feel for the field. We've got Schwesinger lined up in the middle here. And something to keep in mind, between the end of Schwesinger's final season in college, which I believe was his redshirt junior year, and his rookie year here in the NFL, he put on about 15 pounds. He went from 225 to 240, which is obviously a pretty substantial jump in weight, but it doesn't look like he's lost a step at all. This athleticism, this speed more specifically, that was such an attractive part of his game, the big thing that all the scouts liked, all the people like me who watched him and went, this kid's going to be special. It was because of the athleticism. That was the big thing that stood out. And he hasn't lost any of that despite putting on 15 pounds. The big concern with him coming out was he's undersized, 225 pounds. That is too small to be a NFL linebacker, to sit in the box, to get downhill, to get physical, get gritty in the run game, take on a center one-on-one and win like we saw in the first play. That's too small. He got big and he kept the athleticism. Unreal. And then also the feel for the field that we'll see on this play is very, very good as well. So you see they're going to bring a man in motion and right away it's play action, right? Schwesinger gets pulled down into the play action. And in fact, if we can continue on here, you see he gets pulled, a good 3 yards out of his spot. Once he sees that that ball is still held onto by Jordan Love, Schwesinger realizes he's got a zone to cover up here in the middle. And he's going to do a great job here, you'll see, of just saying screw it and firing back. He completely takes Matthew Golden out of this play. This would be a big throw backed up in your own territory for Jordan Love. If Schwesinger is out of the picture, Golden is running open. You can hit him right here. And yeah, he's probably going to get tackled as soon as he catches the football, but that's still, a 20-yard pickup? Instead, he has to dump it down to this tight end who has 2 guys to rally down to him right away. They do end up picking up 9 here because the tight end, puts his shoulder down. He's a bigger dude. He's able to fight through some contact. But Schwesinger stops this from being a much, much bigger play. Now, granted, I know you don't want to turn your back to the quarterback as a defender, but at a certain point, he knows he's going to get there. And considering he knows he's going to get there, Jordan Love knows he can't throw that ball because at any moment, Schwesinger can throw that head back. He can swing his neck around and be in position to even just tip the ball. And if he tips the ball, you've got, see here, if we can get our tool out of the way, you've got 2 DBs sitting here that, say right about here, Schwesinger tips it. That's 2 guys there ready for the tip drill. Or Schwesinger could just pick it off himself, And while Jordan Love does have a little Brett Favre to his game, he's not an idiot. So he's not going to try to throw this. And this very deep, very explosive route here from Matthew Golden is completely taken away by some good on-the-fly thinking from Schwesinger. All right, next play we're going to take a look at here is the next play of the game. There was a false start in between, so as opposed to a 2nd and 1, we've got a 2nd and 6 here. We've got Schwesinger lined up in the A-gap, and this is going to be a fantastic display of not only really good eye discipline, but also fantastic run diagnostics. So we'll take a look here. They're going to bring a man in motion. Once this ball is snapped, you can see everything is pointing to this being a run to the right. You leave a man unblocked on the left side. You got a block here, block here, block here, block here, block here, and then the tight end being brought in motion to block, right? Everything is pointing to this being a run to the right. So Schwesinger does a great job of keeping his eyes up, and he's watching the backfield throughout this entire play. He pays no attention to the man in front of him. The entire time here, he is watching the running back. Even once he is engaged with, he has his eyes on the running back trying to figure out where he's going to go. For reference here, the block, Jenkins is trying to cut across the face of Schwesinger and then turn him back inside and wall him off, right? If you watch my full Back Friday videos, you know I preach back to the back. You want your back to be to the running back in order to create a wall between the ball carrier and the defender that's trying to pursue him. That is what Jenkins is trying to do here with this block here. Schwesinger recognizes that, so he does a good job. He gets his hands in the chest, and you see his eyes, even when he's engaged with and when Jenkins is trying to turn him upfield, his eyes, he switches them to the other shoulder of Jenkins to gain leverage and also be able to still see the ball carrier. So you see he watches it. He's going to kind of set his feet here to reel himself in. And to be honest, if Jenkins had set his block here, like if Schwesinger, say these two are switched, right? This is Jenkins, this is Schwesinger, they're walled off. We've got a great block here, a great block here, and then there's a good block outside here with the receiver with Romeo Dobbs. You've got one man to beat with a ton of green grass in front of you. This could be a massive play for Green Bay. Instead, Schwesinger is ready to blow this up, and you see he's going to lunge, wrap, and bring him to the ground. Phenomenal job there, keeping what could have been a massive gain on 2nd and 6 to instead a 2-yard pickup to bring up a 3rd and 4. Great recognition there, great diagnostics, great eye discipline, just a great linebacker play across the board. Next play we're going to take a look at is unfortunately on the same drive as the last two. The drive got extended after Schwesinger made that play on 2nd down to force the 3rd down. The Browns had too many men on the field, ended up giving the Packers an automatic 1st down, which really sucked because Schwesinger got a sack on the play. He shot through the line and ended up bringing down Jordan Love for like a 7-yard loss. So that could have been a situation where the Packers were forced to punt. Instead, they get a fresh set of downs, and now they are marching towards midfield at this point. The Browns are going to try to stop it. We've got them in a cover 3 here. I know it's not the prettiest. I'll have to excuse my penmanship. Not an art major. I am a media major, a journalism major, if you will. But we take a look here. You've got your 3 deep zones here to separate the field into thirds. You got your 2 curl flats, and then the 2 linebackers here are in hook zones. And Schwesinger's just going to do a really good job of feeling this out while watching the quarterback. You're going to see this entire play. His eyes do not come off of Jordan Love, yet he is going to contribute to taking away 2 routes downfield and then eventually making the play downhill. So we'll take a look here. They're going to bring a man in motion. That's going to move the linebackers around a bit. The first route is going to be a deep, go route from Matthew Golden, the rookie wide receiver. You see Schwesinger is going to do a good job. That is right through his zone. Jordan Love, you can see that's where he's looking first. He cannot throw that because Schwesinger is going to be able to come downhill. Got a safety here, safety here. If Schwesinger doesn't make the play, surely those 2 will. So Matthew Golden is not going to be an option for him. See as that develops a little bit. He then turns his attention to Savion Williams, who is not going to turn his head until he gets about here. Schwesinger would be in a prime position to step downhill and either lay him out or get a hand in, or maybe even jump the route itself. You see right about there, he's getting himself in position. So at this point, Jordan Love turns his head to the running back here who's on a swing route, and that's where he's going to throw that ball. Schwesinger recognizes this as well, and he is going to trigger downhill right here. And you'll see he, along with, I believe it's Miles Harden on the outside, it is, the 2 of them are going to take down Josh Jacobs for a 3-yard pickup on 1st down. So just a great job there by Schwesinger, feeling out the coverage, feeling out the play, and then triggering downhill once he realized where Jordan Love wanted to throw the football. The last 4 plays are about Schwesinger making a play himself, getting to the ball carrier, bringing him down, etc. This is going to be Schwesinger just being really smart, doing a good job of covering something up, and buying a teammate time to get free and get a sack. So we're going to see Schwesinger in the middle of the field here. His assignment is just to drop and cover this middle here, and he's going to do a great job of that. So you see Schwesinger immediately. Eyes are in the backfield on the quarterback. He's watching the fake handoff here, but he's backpedaling because he's not buying that this is a run, right? He knows he's playing coverage. So he backpedals here. So if it was a run, I mean, he could just shoot down through a cannon and light up Emmanuel Wilson. But with the way the blocking's going, he sees it. He knows it's going to be a pass. And what's going to happen is on this play, you're going to see Tucker Kraft leak out here on the right side. And Schwesinger realizes this and starts to float towards Kraft a little bit, right? He makes his play. and then he recognizes Kraft cutting across the middle, so he's going to do the same. He wants to stay with Kraft. He's decided, this is the only guy that's going to be in the middle of the field. This is who I need to cover. Meanwhile, we're getting some pressure here. You can see, I believe that's Mason Graham getting through. We've got a man starting to run free here on the right side, and then this is all covered up. But you got 2 one-on-ones here that look favorable for Cleveland. So Schwesinger goes, okay, if I do my job in coverage, I'm going to take away the easy check down option here, the easy quick throw, and that will allow my boys to get home. That will allow them to get a sack. And you see he does a great job here of sitting down on top of Tucker Kraft. If you throw this football, Jordan Love is literally staring Tucker Kraft down. If you throw this football, then Schwesinger is no doubt getting a hand in there to make a play on the ball. It's going to be incomplete. So Love kind of panics. He pump fakes and ends up getting sacked by Alex Wright there. So just a good job by Schwesinger picking up on what was going on. Good field here. Good feel for the field is what I meant to say there. Picking up Tucker Kraft and setting up for his teammate to get home for the sack. All right, this will be a quick play here. We've got Schwesinger lined up over top of the running back. This is going to be him reading Jordan Love very, very well once again. So you'll see they're going to bring a man in motion. The linebackers shift. And Schwesinger's job, once again, is just kind of cover the middle of the field, right? Sit here directly in the middle, read the quarterback. If anything comes in your way, anything comes in your zone, you obviously trigger to it, make sure that the quarterback can't throw it. You're just playing the middle here. You see Jordan Love starts to feel some pressure. At this point, he is going to throw this ball to Josh Jacobs, who's off in the flat. Schwesinger sees that, and you can see by the footwork or by the foot placement, he is about to trigger downhill. That is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to fire through a cannon, gets his way to Josh Jacobs, breaks down, grabs the ankles, brings him down. That is a 3-yard pickup on 3rd and 15 after the sack on the previous play. Obviously, that's not enough for a first down, so the Packers have to punt here. And that is back-to-back very, very good plays by Carson Schwesinger in coverage. One where, again, he set up for a teammate as opposed to making the play himself. And then one where he said, fine, I'll do it myself, and gets the stop on 3rd down. All right, this play here is a very good job by Schwesinger reading the read option here. You're going to see we've got a little trickery here with Savion Williams lined up in the backfield next to Josh Jacobs. But he's going to do a good job of reading what looks to be a read option and then firing into the backfield. He doesn't make the play. Grant Delpit's going to make the play here, but Schwesinger is right there. And what stands out to me is, again, the ability to read the play in the backfield, and then also the speed on this one is tremendous. That's the bigger reason why I'm showing it off here. So we'll take a look here. We've got some adjustments here from the Browns defense. This is going to be a read option. So you see Carson Schwesinger is already kind of leaning his body to the right because he wants to flow with Josh Jacobs. So you see he runs with him, plants that foot, and he's going to explode. We'll watch that one more time. He's going to explode, plant the foot, and then explode. Just a really good hop there, plant the foot, and then explode into the backfield. I'll watch that one more time. I know I said one more time 2 times ago. And then again, he gets into the backfield. Grant Delpit makes the play here, but this is a good job of firing through, getting into the backfield, and at least being there in case in some world Grant Delpit isn't able to bring down Savion Williams. Again, the big thing here, the play recognition, the speed, that's the important stuff. That's what matters to me, and that absolutely stands out on this play. Earlier in this video, I mentioned that we would be revisiting the fact that Carson Schwesinger put on about 15 pounds between the final year at UCLA he had and this year, his rookie year. And some people out there might wonder why that is such a big deal. I'm sure quite a few people, especially people watching this video, probably understand that, a 225-pound linebacker logistically just can't work in the NFL. But if you're still wondering why that wouldn't work, it's because of plays like this. Schwesinger, if he was still 225 pounds, is not going to be able to make the play he's about to make. And this is a very, very good rep as a run defender that we'll see right here. So Schwesinger right away, he is locked on. We know his eye discipline by now is fantastic. He's locked on, and he has a wide open lane to get into the backfield. On the Packers side of things, blocking, we got a little bit of duo here. We've got 2 double teams. We've got the tight end who's about to move up to the other linebacker, Devin Bush. And then we've got a one-on-one out here. Because of this, Schwesinger, like I said, on paper has a free lane to the running back. At the last second, Elgton Jenkins is going to do a good job recognizing what's going on. He's going to pivot. He's going to try to wall off Schwesinger. And Josh Jacobs, seeing this, is going to try to make his way through the A-gap here. Schwesinger, reading Jacobs, probably seeing where his eyes are going. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. He is going to sit himself down in the A gap, and he is going to hold his ground. This right here would not happen if Carson Schwesinger was 225 pounds. If he was 225 pounds, Jenkins is running his ass into the secondary, right to the third level of this play. He is blowing him off the ball and taking him downfield, almost guaranteed if he's 225 pounds. Now, if he got like super low and really won the leverage battle, then maybe not. But those extra 15 pounds make this a hell of a lot easier. And even if he doesn't get blown off the ball, Josh Jacobs has the shoulder lowered here. He is running through Schwesinger if Schwesinger is 225 pounds. Thankfully, he's 240 now. So he does a good job of wrapping up, and he is going to stuff Josh Jacobs, get some help there at the end. You know, everyone rallies to the ball for a 1-yard pickup. I guarantee that is 3, 4, maybe more if Schwesinger only weighs 225 pounds. But alas, at least in Green Bay's sake, unfortunately, he's not that anymore. He's big, he's mean, he's scary, he's still super fast, and he completely blew up this play with some savvy football IQ and some really, really good strength at the point of attack, sitting down in the A-gap and making sure that Josh Jacobs could not get through. Next play here, second to last play we're going to take a look at, 2nd and goal. And this is going to be a really nice run stuff from Schwesinger. This is going to be no gain on the 3-yard line. And the first thing I want to point out here isn't actually what Schwesinger does on the play itself, but you can tell high IQ player. He's pointing out something here. You see Myles Garrett there on the right side adjusts himself. And that's a great thing to see as the play starts. So as this play starts, you're going to have Elgton Jenkins. His goal is, as we've mentioned before, get up to the second level and wall off Schwesinger because we're going to bring Josh Jacobs here to the left side. Schwesinger pays no mind to Elgton Jenkins. Goodness, got a couple difficult names to say here in this battle. But Schwesinger, his eyes are in the backfield. As we've said, pretty much every play, he pays no mind to blockers. He just wants the football. So you see Schwesinger does a good job of getting to that landmark before Jenkins can. So Jenkins has no chance to turn him inside to wall him off. Instead, Schwesinger has a clear line to the C gap, which is where they're going to end up running this football in between the tackle and the tight end. And you see he is going to carry that momentum, and then he's going to meet Jacobs in the hole and help stuff him directly at the line. So we take another look at that real quick. Beat your man to the hole, hand in the chest. If we rewind it just a hair when they make that first contact, you see hands in the chest there. That's textbook. Bounce off your man, get into the backfield, and stuff Josh Jacobs at the line. Again, 2nd and 3 on the goal line. Pretty big play. Brings up a 3rd and 3. Unfortunately, they do score on the next play, but nonetheless, this was still a very, very nice rep of run defense from Carson Schwesinger. And the final play we're going to take a look at here, this is the very end of the 3rd quarter. We've got Schwesinger lined up over top of the right tackle here. And this is going to be really, really good improvisation, right? Everything else is Schwesinger playing his role perfectly. This is Schwesinger kind of deciding, I'm a loose cannon, I'm a playmaker, I'm going to go make a play, right? And this is going to be a very, very good example of that. So once the Packers snap this ball, Schwesinger is in the same hook zone that we've taken a look at a couple times here. His job is just cover this area of the field, right? The only thing he has to worry about in this moment is Dontavian Wicks. Once he feels that Wicks has passed by him, which is going to happen here in a moment, he kind of has a little bit of freedom, you know, in terms of his assignment, right? Like he's not going to have anything to worry about. So if he steps up and tries to make a play, or tries to tail a route or something, then he has that opportunity. So Schwesinger, he's starting to see Jordan Love panic. You can see right about here, Love's feeling the pressure. You've got a guy coming through right here. I know at this point he's starting to trip, but he was still feeling it. You see a one-on-one here, a one-on-one here. You're not feeling too good about that if you're Love. So he's going to start to scramble. And at that point, Schwesinger goes, okay, well, I've got 1 defender, 2 defender behind me to take care of Wicks. I'm pretty confident that those guys can do their job. So he is going to make the trek downhill. He's going to pursue Jordan Love. He gets his eyes up. He's looking. He sees 1, 2 receivers here. He's thinking he wants to make a play there. He wants to put himself in a position. Then at the last moment, right as he's about to release that ball, you see you cannot make this throw. There's 2 receivers running into each other. You've got 1, two defenders there. Either one of those guys could jump up and make a play. So Jordan Love is going to tuck this ball, and Carson Schwesinger is just going to kind of run through him. 11-yard loss. Huge play. Just a tremendous job from Carson Schwesinger on, again, a kind of loose cannon freestyle type play to get an 11-yard sack. But anyways, folks, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below, as it does help out the channel a ton. It shows your support, it shows you care, and I really do appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe for more NFL content coming your way throughout the rest of the regular season, into the offseason, and beyond. And also make sure to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about Carson Schwesinger. Am I being a little bit too premature talking about, I was right about him being LB1, anything like that? I definitely think he's looked incredible in the first 3 weeks, and obviously things can change. He's a young player, but I'd be remiss if I didn't gas up my guy, especially after a game against the Packers. As a Bears fan, I had to. It was low-hanging fruit. It was an exciting game, some exciting plays. I wanted to take a look at it and talk about why I'm such a big fan. But regardless, anything like that in the comments, also any video suggestions, any players you think I should be on the lookout for this coming week and the weeks after, definitely let me know. I love hearing from you all and getting to respond to your comments and have conversations and whatnot. But with all that being said, again, I hope you all enjoyed. That's the biggest thing here. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it, because you're all wonderful people and you truly do deserve it.
Had a chance on the throwback. This was an ill-advised throw. What an unbelievable catch by Cole Kmet. And he cups it too. No movement when he hits the ground, tucked up against his shoulder. Wow.
Using that